Hey everybody, welcome to again another page in our geometry pre-break work review packet. If you are following along in class, this video will help you to get started on this worksheet. If you found this online, feel free to work along. You can find this worksheet if you Google CUDA software under free worksheets and geometry angle pair relationships. There's the page there all along with the answers. So here we go. Let's just jump right into this. Taking a look today at the assignment says angle pair relationships. So that tells me there's going to be some relationships that are going on here between the two angles. So the first thing I want to look at is complementary. So if angles are complementary to each other, they actually form a 90-degree, what I call corner angle. So what I have just constructed here was the original 90-degree angle. Whenever you see a box in the corner, that means it's 90 degrees. I always tell people as soon as you see a box write 90, then you don't even have to think about it anymore. And then I drew a ray or an angle bisector. I might call it a bisector. I can't tell you that it's equally half and half, 45 and 45 degrees. But I divided this into two different angles. So I could call this angle A and call this angle B. And angle A and B together get me to 90 degrees. So that is a complementary angle. They complement each other to make a corner. Very good. So the next one there is going to be a linear pair. A linear pair does what this says right here, a line. It forms a line. So first I will make a line, and a line measures 180 degrees. Okay, and so a linear pair, when I talk about angle relationships, that means there's going to be at least two angles in there, because you can't have a relationship just one thing. A relationship involves two or more. So I'm going to make a squiggly line like that. So what I've done is I made this angle and I made this angle. So I could call this angle A and this angle B, and the two of them together create a straight line, and that would be a linear pair, a line or a pair. So that's how you know the difference between complementary is a 90-degree corner, and linear pair is a straight line when the two angles come together. Okay, moving on to vertical. So a vertical angle, I like to draw it like this. It makes two V's. Okay, so any combination of lines crossing each other, where here, let me change the color for you. I'm going to put this in red. So here is a V. Okay, and then here, technical difficulties, is another V. So when these lines intersect, they form this series of V's in the intersection. So vertical angles means that this angle right here and then the straight across angle right there, these two are the same measurement. Okay, so those angles, when they are vertical, they are going to be congruent. They are the same measurement. So the key feature of a vertical angle is that they're going to kind of make two V's touching each other. Okay, now an adjacent angle, let me go ahead here. So an adjacent angle, or angle pair, means, well, the word adjacent means next to. So they're next to each other. So they're not going to form 90 degrees like complementary. They're not going to form a linear pair here at 180 degrees. But they are going to have some form of angle measure. Let's just make something like this. And if I make a third line there, so I have angle A here, I have angle B here. This is not exactly 90 degrees, and it's definitely not a straight line. But we do have two angles right next to each other. And so adjacent means they are next to each other. So here, these two are just next to each other, but they don't happen to form a straight line or a 90-degree corner. Okay? And they're not across from each other like would be a vertical angle. So hopefully you've taken those few little notes down. I'm going to clean up the page here, and let's go ahead and tackle a few on this page. Let me clear this and go here. All right, so here at number 1, so it looks like, first thing I notice is this line seems to be a straight line. Straight line should immediately ring an alarm that it has to equal to 180 degrees. The two of these together form a straight line, and that would be the one that literally says line in it, a linear pair, the two to come together, oops, I'm backwards there, to form a line. Great. Okay, number 2. So number 2, look at that. It does not form a straight line. It also does not form a hard corner. And they are not directly across from each other. They're just right next door to each other and make up 2 angles into one. So remember, that is our one that's next to each other is adjacent. So once you know what you are looking at, then these aren't too hard at all. So number 3, number 4, let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 says, what is the relationship of angle A and angle B? What do they form? Well, at first sight, I would say, well, they don't form a straight line. Okay, but this box here tells me, oh, 90 degrees. So if this side is 90 degrees on that corner, this side is also 90 degrees. That should be my warning there, or my sign, red flag, alarm that says those are complementary. Because complementary. There we go. Because the two of these together are going to form the other half of that box. Okay? And finally here, let's take a look at number 5. So number 5 has angle A on this side. And, oops, it has angle B on that side. That was pretty funny. Let me get rid of that. So what does that tell you? You've had a moment to think ahead. So we have angle A on this side, and we have angle B on this side. If you notice, here's a V, here's a V, and directly across congruent, we call those vertical angles. So use that information to go ahead and figure out the rest. Here's a hint. All right, on number 6 is not like number 4. There's a key element missing. We do not see a 90-degree box there. Let's see, what else do we have down further on this page? Scrolling through. Okay, when you get to the lower half of this page, numbers 9 through 12, let's take a look at what they're asking here. So here we have to use information that we do know to figure out what they want us to do. So here for an example on number 9. First, the directions say find the measure of angle B in each of these problems. So angle B is right here. Oh, let me put my pen on. There we go. So angle B is right here. How can we figure out the measure of angle B? Well, we have to use the information that we used on the top of the page and determine, well, what is the angle relationship here between these two? We have a straight line, and a straight line, remember, measures 180 degrees for the whole thing. So if the whole thing is 180 degrees, and we know this piece right here is 50, well, we can go ahead and say, well, I know the other side is going to have to be an amount that gets angle B plus 50 equal to the whole thing of 180. That's the algebraic way to write that. You would simply minus 50 on both sides, and you'd find out that angle B is 130 degrees. All right? Looks like the same thing you can do over here for number 12, given that's a complementary angle. Big hint that I gave you. And on number 10, you have vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are congruent. So you can set them equal to each other. It's actually nothing to solve. This is that. 43 degrees is 43 degrees. I want you to try number 11 and give number 11 a shot. That's your challenge today. So number 11 is asking you to find this amount here for angle B, given that you have a 96-degree angle and you have an angle that's 209 degrees. So one thing I want to show you is that all of these come together to make a full circle, And I want to let you know as your hint, a full circle equals 360 degrees. So each of these should equal up to 360. Hope that helps. It's a very big hint. Again, take your time, try your best, and good luck.